Bonjour alors.
Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien, toi?
Ça va, merci. Canada is a bilingual country, so we're happy to speak both languages.
Yes.
I'm here with client and friend Valerie Poulain.
Almost. Valérie Poulain.
Valerie Poulain. A lot of nuances to pronunciation, but it's a pleasure to have you here. And we're also so stoked that you're able to share some of your experiences with the law with everyone who is watching this, wherever they're watching it. So we first came into communication because you had an idea to start an event. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that event.
Yes, so Dance Bloom came together, and it's a community for young dancers. And what we want is to connect them. We want them to learn something and to inspire one another. So the first event we are doing is in the fall, and so it's going to be speaker series with workshops and panel. And so you helped me making sure that was well protected.
And it was a pleasure to do that. One thing that I think is super cool about Val that I'm happy to share with all of you, before the event, obviously the event hasn't taken place, but before all of it happened, she was extremely proactive in saying, these are all the different relationships that I have going on, and I want to communicate my expectations in these relationships even before I get started.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit, just off the top of your head, the different relationships that you have in putting on an event?
Yes, okay. So there is much more relationship that I taught. First of all, I never saw it as relationships. That's something that you taught me for sure. But the first one is we have the participant that we call the bloomies. So those are the young dancers, teenager, young adult. So we had to make sure that if they get hurt during the event that they were protected, and I was protected as well.
With a waiver of liability.
Yeah, exactly.
For the participants.
Yes.
Awesome.
So, participant. Then we have the partners. So we have in-kind partner as well as sponsorship. So that's another agreement that we had. All the volunteers. So our presenters are volunteers as well. So that was another agreement, just the presenter, and then the volunteer in my team as well that will be there on the day of the event just to help. And yeah, something else is the photographer, videographer, is it the term? Okay. And am I missing something?
The venue, I think there was a relationship with the venue,
yes.
But you've basically, what I'm trying, and you've done an excellent job of it, but what I'm trying to encourage everyone who's taking the course is, okay, here's Dance Bloom in the middle. Mm-hmm. What are the different relationships that we have?
Yeah.
And in those relationships, what are the best ways to communicate?
Mm-hmm.
And I think, and I acknowledge you for doing an awesome job of being proactive about it. Also, there were some interesting nuances to the relationships and working together because a lot of them involve minors.
Yes, absolutely. And those are the participants.
And the participants, and there are a lot of issues around using photographs on social media or on the website of children.
Yeah, and I had a bunch of questions to you as well about this. You know, what do I do? Do we need to do a record check as well that we were talking about?
Record check for volunteers.
Yes,
for
as
working
well.
with children.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of complexities to it. What I thought was really wonderful, though, we talked a lot about managing expectations in relationships.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe also to give a feedback, I thought it was very interesting because with those agreements, what was great is that I understood them, and the way that it was written was such, still kind of a friendly way, you could really understand it. And a surprise of mine is when I sent them to the presenter, the feedback that I received was that it was so professional and that they were really happy that we had those agreements into place. And I didn't tell you that. But that's
cool. Good to know.
Yeah, I was very happy about that.
And I feel like there was a couple moments like where we were on the phone doing the work and we were like, wait, isn't this fun? Are we having fun right now?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, with you, it's not just, I don't know if I can talk about this, but it's not just you answer my question, but it's really an exchange, and you're able to share also just your experience. And that's what I thought was really interesting, to be able to learn from your own experience organizing a festival for yoga, for example.
Which was, yes, and I'm happy to provide that experience. So here's a question. Firstly, I love just bouncing and chatting.
Let's do that.
It's so much fun. Why? Why was it important to you to reach out to a lawyer, and what was going on in your mind at that point?
Yeah, so I think with my background as a dance teacher, I knew that for me it was a priority that my participants were safe in terms of the venue I selected, first of all, to make sure that the floor are adapted to them. And for me, having an agreement is as important as having this, the right dance floor to dance on. That's what it was so important.
Yes, the proverbial dance floor.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because a lot of people told me at first, because I'm just at the start of starting my business, and a lot of people were telling me one of the main costs is a lawyer, if you work with a lawyer, and some people did not recommend to do it. And for me, in my gut, my feeling, that was wrong, to not go with a lawyer and to have that expertise, because you cannot do that yourself, I believe. And like you have an expertise that I don't have. So I was able to learn from that as well.
So what I'm hearing is that I'm getting a dance lesson. I can dance. You'll teach me how to dance.
What?
You have an expertise that I don't have.
Yeah, exactly. I can teach you.
You're a dance instructor.
Absolutely.
What I loved about our work that we did together, there were so many different types of agreements. Mm-hmm. So there was the volunteer agreement, there was the presenter agreement, there was the sponsor agreement, there's the waiver of liability, there's the media use, media release to allow us to use pictures of people.
Yeah.
How confident do you feel in the business moving forward, knowing that you have all of those agreements organized?
Well, what I'm excited is I feel I have the strong base. I feel that we did the work before the event. So everything it's there, and I feel it's there for many years. And what I'm excited as well is that I know that if I go to Quebec, because that's where I'm from, if one day we decide to bring Dance Bloom in Quebec, I know I can just call you, and I know you have the resources, even if you don't speak French. So
speak a little bit of French. Let's not.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Okay.
You have basic in French.
Yes.
But maybe not for the agreement.
Okay.
Right? Yes.
Correct. And what value do you see in communicating openly and honestly in agreements?
What do you mean?
What is the value? What is present, or what do you gain in agreements, having them written in plain English, but also expressing how you really feel instead of pretending to be something that you're not? Or
so I think something that is very important with those agreements that you mentioned it, but it does set expectations and it brings further conversation. Because sometimes you think someone understood what you said in the first place, but then when they take the time to just read the full agreement, it's clear, it's there, so they don't miss it, and then it brought other conversation after that.
Can you provide an example?
Yeah, the best example was the presenter.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's a tricky example.
Let's go.
Okay, so it's related to the word what's the word?
Wholeheartedly.
Honorarium.
Honorarium.
Yes, because we had that conversation.
Got it.
Because you did an agreement that if my speakers were being paid with a salary,
got it.
That's what it was originally made of, right? I could use it for that.
Yes.
I still kept the word because you told me it doesn't mean salary.
Correct.
But then some people still saw it as a salary.
Got it.
So I had to still explain that word.
Got it.
Right?
Honorarium.
That's a tricky example.
Honorarium. That's a very nuanced technical example, but what's great is, what I love about it is that people are reading the agreements.
Yeah.
And because the agreements are written in plain English, people are more excited and more open to it than they would be otherwise.
Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Wonderful. And overall, let me think. So if we're in communications, expectations, okay, we're going to talk about love. We're putting you in lesson 2. Dargo, are you good with that? Obviously, with Dance Bloom, you're putting on an event that is it is all of you. This is your contribution to a new city that you're living in. It's filled with so much love. Can you talk about the importance of working with people who are like-minded and who you relate to, and really love? What is it like working with people who you love?
I feel for me it's like you forget about time. You just really enjoy the present moment, and you're able to just share about different passion that you have. I'm just looking at the last, because it's been 2 years I'm in Vancouver now, and the last months have been the most fulfilled for me, because I've been connecting with people just like you, for example. You have such a passion for what you do in such a different field, but because I'm so passionate about my project, I'm looking for those people with the same passion as well, to be able to share and to learn.
And what have you found?
What do you mean, what I found?
What have you found in working with like-minded, passionate people who you love?
I feel that when people do something that they really love, they are more willing to help and to support because they know they're going to receive it back in return.
One thing that we talk about a lot in this course and what we're trying to prompt people to do is have a heart-leading life. Heart-leading business, heart-leading legal practices, heart-leading life. What I say when it comes to agreements, the important thing is to acknowledge that every relationship you have, that the law really, sorry, I'm just going to do that again, because we just filmed this.
Of course, you're so good.
We're so good.
Supernatural.
When it comes to agreements, there's like 4 really important components. The first is acknowledging that the law really is just a series of relationships that you have in your life. And what was cool about our work together is that we could really put Dans Bloom in the middle and see all the different relationships that you have. And then within each relationship, we communicate our expectations openly, honestly, and lovingly. And just really saying to volunteers, these are the expectations. This is what you're getting in return. There will be lunch, there won't be lunch. And then letting them decide if they want to engage in that relationship. What have you seen from that sort of communication?
So the first thing that popped in my mind is when you asked me, which intention do you have with those agreements? And I remember, because I've been thinking about it since then, you asked me, do you want it to come as supportive, with love? I can't remember the other one, but I told you all of it. It comes, and I was like, I don't know what is my, that intention, but I feel it just comes from so much passion as well.
Beautiful. I think that captures heart-leading law, heart-leading life, heart-leading business. And I acknowledge you for the awesome contribution of bringing an event that you love.
Thank you.
And everything that will grow from doing that will not only transform your own life, but all of the participants, the kids, the speakers, everyone involved. You're going to bring everyone together on one particular day, and their life will never be the same.
And
of that.
the way I've been describing my project, I always tell people it's a passion project. And even when I talk to really, business-oriented people, they're like, how are you going to make money with that? That's the first question they always ask. I'm like, you know what? It comes from my heart, and this is what I hear I have to do, and I'm doing it, and it's bringing so much more than just organizing an event. And that day is all the process and the relationship. I was just meeting someone today, a presenter, and we went for lunch, and I was recruiting him for a panel. And it's simple, the panel, you don't have much to prepare. And he was like, after 5 minutes, he was like, that's it? That's all I have to do? I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh. And then I said, but I just wanted to meet you, because it's more than just having you on stage. It's about really creating those relationships and building that community as well.
And the product that flows from that is so much stronger. And when you love the people you work with, and when you take the time to get to know them and spend time with them and see them in person, if possible, then...
sometimes you cannot.
Sometimes you can, which is just a thing, but it just grows deeper and deeper. So I think all of that's wonderful. Lastly, is there any last insight you'd like to share with people who are taking this course, who maybe are thinking about starting a business or starting an idea, or maybe they're in it and they're looking for some sort of shift or any lessons?
Well, you know what, I think that if people are already in this course, I think they're already doing the right thing, because as you say, it's to prepare yourself and make sure you have the strong base as well. And what I will say is really, just follow your guts. Sometimes people will just say otherwise, and people will say it's not going to work. I think it happened to many people. And no, just do it. I think it's really important.
Awesome, just do it. You heard it here first. There's no company out there that says just do it.
No one.
So we got it. Val, this was fun.
Yay, awesome.
Yeah, this was rad. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
Merci à toi.
Just a couple people dancing.
This is awesome.